Jamie Dimon is being asked a question about getting the job that he wants, right? And he answers it in a way, some people are saying he's being genuine. Some people are saying, I don't know if he really wanted the job. I think he really wanted the job. Go ahead and play this clip, Rob, and let's react to it.
President-elect Donald Trump sends a message to you that he respects you greatly, but you will not be part of the Trump administration as a Treasury Secretary if that were something that were interesting to you.
First of all, I wish the president well, and thank you. That's a very nice note. But I just want to tell the president also, I haven't had a boss for 25 years. I'm not about ready to start.
Do you believe him, Tom?
No. Jamie Dimon has had two bosses for the last 25 years that are some of the most impressive and foreboding bosses you can have. One is his stock ticker, and Wall Street itself is a massive boss. And the second is the Fed. He has had two bosses he's had to navigate. He's had a variety of things he's had to work with his board. Now, does he walk on air like some of the top 10 probably CEOs in America right now? Sure he does. But for him to say, oh, I already have that is just, I don't think it's a very well thought out response, because he wanted this job. He has mentioned to people, these rumors that have happened for the last 2 years came from somewhere. And I like Jamie. I got a lot of respect for Jamie. I have endorsed him. I've supported him. I've talked about that. I think he's made good calls for the economy. But right now, how would you not want that job? That job is the crown. That is the cherry on top of the sundae that has been an incredible career of an incredible guy in financial services, where now you take all that knowledge and you're not just representing the biggest bank in the world, you're representing the biggest economy in the world as Secretary of Treasury. How can you not want that job? He does want it. He's very competitive. And Jamie, come on, you've had two big bosses.
Well, I think in theory, I disagree with Tom a little bit. I mean, again, this is the theoretical aspect of it. To do what Jamie Dimon has done and then go take orders from Trump would be incredibly hard. I mean, Pat, I don't think you're signing up for a boss anytime soon. Maybe never again. I'm almost certain never again. You're never going to have a boss again. And Jamie Dimon is a titan of the universe. To think about somebody like that working under someone is theoretically very hard. But here's where I agree with you, Tom. He's made all the money in the world he could ever spend and his grandchildren could ever spend. He's done everything that he has to do. The crown jewel, to your point, the cherry on top, is a powerful position like Treasury Secretary. I do think he would swallow that ego, take the job of having a boss to be Treasury Secretary.
Yeah, it's when you think about where he's at right now and the decisions he's making, where he's already announced his replacement, that the next 2 years he's finding his replacement. When you think about the moves he made, well, I mean, that's a bad move because he had to come back and
I'm just saying, you give it up, Bob Chapek, come back, give it up, come back.
And then when you think about how much more lenient he got with his employees, hey, you guys have to work 80 hours a week. And I was like, well, we can now do this. And he's not Goldman Sachs, but Goldman Sachs is like, hey, you either come in or get out. He's not doing that right now. He's kind of getting a little bit more chill. Maybe he wants some people to like him, maybe likability to go higher. I don't know. But here's what I would tell you. This is probably one of the most ambitious people in America, period, and maybe the most ambitious man in the financial industry. Let me explain. This guy used to be the executive assistant to Sandy Weill at American Express. Let me say this one more time, guys. This guy was an executive assistant to Sandy Weill. Sandy Weill was King Kong. Sandy was Jamie Dimon in the 90s, okay? Sandy ran Citi. Today, JP Morgan is JP Morgan Chase. Back then, it wasn't JP Morgan Chase. It was Citi. All roads led to Citi because of this guy, Sandy Weill. What ends up happening is Sandy gives him a, premier job, premier position. Sandy's daughter, I think, is reporting to him or something like that. He decides to promote somebody else and sets his daughter aside. Sandy's wife comes in and says, you can't let Jamie do this, ends up firing him. Jamie leaves. Sandy calls him the worst firing of his lifetime. And then Jamie ends up becoming who? The CEO of Chase. So this is not a regular guy we're talking about. He's running the number one bank in the world, okay? They around $7 to $10 trillion of money circulates in Chase every day. Let me say that one more time. $7 to $10 trillion every day that this guy's behind. This ain't a regular guy. He's not sitting there not wanting this job, I don't think. And I think for me, when you're a guy like that, you know, if there's anybody that you choose to make the boss at the end, certain things change in life. When you read Kennedy's book, or if you read Bush's family and you study both of those families, both of them have something in common. They both say, go make a lot of money, then go into public service. Because if this country gave you the wealth that you now have, you owe it back to the country. So he's not going to be working for Trump. He's working for America. He needs to adjust that approach that he's taken. If America chose Trump and you love America, Trump is the spokesperson for America during those 4 years. If Trump knocked on the door for you to get that job, it ain't Trump giving you the job. It's the country that helped you become a billionaire giving you a job. And you have to entertain that job. No matter how cocky, competitive all of us are and driven we are, you have to entertain that call. And I think deep down inside, he wanted that job. And if he doesn't, I don't think Jamie's going away. I think the amount of knowledge Jamie has that can be used in a market for the next 2 decades is priceless. This guy's relationships and connections around the world is priceless. Does he have the swagger to be a one, meaning a president? I don't know. But does he have the swagger and the knowledge and the relationships to be the position that was potentially he was going after? I think so. If it doesn't happen under him, maybe it happens under somebody else. And by the way, who knows? Trump is famous for firing people just because somebody got the job. Now, you know what the next thing is at Vegas? Here's the next bet. If you really want to make a bet at Vegas, is the following. Who's getting fired first?
Oh, wow.
All these guys got jobs? All right, here's the bet. Who's getting fired first? And who's getting fired the fastest? So January, when is inauguration, by the way? January 20th? Is that what it is?
January 20th.
All right, so let's just say they all get their jobs January 21st, hypothetically.
Does Polymarket have this up yet?
Then the bet is, who's going to last the shortest time to say, dude, I bet $100,000 that guy's gone within 2 weeks. I bet $100,000 that guy's gone within a month. Nobody knows. When you work for him, he is a little bit a wild man, so he can make any decisions. In 2020, I'll never forget, we're doing our podcast. We had 47,000 viewers. Concurrent viewers, we had 6,700. We're at the office. We leave. I go home the next day. News comes out. Biden's probably going to be the president. Of course, it takes a few weeks. Everybody around me is panicking. What's going to happen? COVID, Biden, what are we going to do? We step back. We put a plan together. And the last 4 years have been the most ridiculous 4 years of our lives because we sequenced everything out. 15 moves, business, personal life, finances, all of it. Now that Trump's president, that same strategy that worked in 2020 should be different than the one we have in 2024. Tonight at 6 o'clock, I'm hosting a webinar called the No Matter What webinar. Tom and I will be sharing with you guys what we're planning on doing the next 4 years and some of the strategies that you ought to consider doing as well for yourself the next 4 years, especially when we're coming down to business planning season. Right now it's November 19th. January 1st is going to be here like in the next 6 weeks. And those of you guys that got big plans in 2025, planning starts now. Go to vtwebinar.com, vtwebinar.com. Put it in your calendar. It's only 5,000 people that can be on. We don't have it more than 5,000 people. We'll start at 6 o'clock. I'll give a PowerPoint presentation to you guys, and then we'll go from there. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.